Hey there, it's Dusty Thunder. Full on astronaut mode here with another Reddit story for you. This one comes from the AITA subreddit and is titled, Am I the astronaut for accepting money from my parents for my wedding and then eloping? Probably. My parents gave each of my brothers $50,000 when they graduated from university as a down payment on their home. When I graduated, they did not do the same for me. I asked about it and they said my husband should provide. I wasn't married. I still lived at home. Because OP's the female? They did that? Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and red flag that. Yep. 3 years later, I met my husband. We dated for a year and then we got engaged. My parents were overjoyed. We set a date and they gave me a check for $50,000 to pay for the wedding. What the OP's words, not mine. I took the check and we eloped. We then used the check for a down payment on a house. My husband had a similar amount saved up, so we were in a good spot with equity. They said that they gave me the money for a wedding. My argument is that I got married and had leftover money, accurate in my books. My brothers are on their side, so I am here to ask if I'm in the wrong. Am I the astronaut? Before we dive into that feedback, what? No, unless there was some kind of written agreement that said this money could only be used on a wedding, the sideways logic that they used here does not hold up. And I changed my earlier vote of probably, just based on the title alone, to no, you are not the astronaut here. You still used it for a worthy cause and something they should be proud of. In fact, you know this because of precedent. They set a precedent whenever they did the exact same thing for your two older brothers, right? $50K down payment on a house. $50K down payment on a house. $50K for a wedding, down payment on a house. If you had blown this money at the casino, I could see them being a little irked. But why wouldn't they be proud to help you with this? And they said earlier on that your husband should be providing this. Like, okay, there's a problem with that methodology anyway, but you do you, whatever. The fact that they are treating you entirely differently and that they're upset with you for doing the exact same thing that they encouraged your brothers to do is horse shit. Horse shit. Okay. Top comment here, NTA, your family is being horrible and is using a bullshit double standard. They didn't expect your brothers to use that money for a big wedding, but you have to. They wouldn't have helped you get a home unless it was through marriage, but your brothers didn't have that condition and just got the money. And they expected you to have a huge wedding so that they could have fun. Saving up the money is the responsible thing to do, and they're being bad parents if they rather you spent it all on a huge wedding you don't even want. Edit, just a question, to be clear, there was a wedding and they were invited, right? They're angry because it wasn't big enough? OP, there was a wedding. Oh, hold up. Hold up. All right, Al. Dusty's voice is AM radio for millennials. I feel like that's a compliment. I'm just not sure that it is. I'm not sure. Okay, here's the funny part for me. Edit, just a question to be clear. And this was a commenter saying, there was a wedding and they were invited, right? And OP says there was a wedding. Does not address the they were invited, right? Part of that question. They eloped, but there was a wedding they said they eloped, but at some point they did have a gathering of some kind, but apparently parents weren't invited. So if the only reason that they gave them $50K was so that the parents could show off here, which is kind of what it feels like, that just makes them even worse. I mean, I'm sure there are some cultural issues in play here because everything they've said and how they've treated her and how they talked about what her husband's supposed to do is probably part of a cultural construct, right? And whether we agree with that or not, it doesn't matter. The double standard of them being pissed at you for doing what your brothers did is confusing. And if anything, just illuminates some selfish motives on their end. So no, you are not the astronaut here. Did we say that already? You are not the astronaut. Candy Thunder's pasting some information into the doc right now. We've got more to talk about. Oh, okay. I have a more in-depth OP response here. Yeah, Meg, not Megan, eloped means they ran off and got married. Yeah, but she said that there was a wedding. So, I mean, there was a wedding to me, not just we eloped, means that like there was a gathering of more than just a couple witnesses there. OP, responding again here, to be more exact, we told them we were engaged. My dad went to his office and came back with a check for the money. We accepted it. We went home and talked about it. We decided that we were not going to blow that kind of money on a wedding. We went to the county clerk and got a marriage license. We talked to our friends and they agreed to let us use their house. We went to the bank and put $50,000 on our mortgage. We can pay it down without penalty once a year. It took us 2 weeks or so to get set with an officiant and everything. We had 6 friends and my parents present for the wedding. Total cost $500. Parents were there. Parents were there. What are they mad about? Because it wasn't the big show-offy thing that they wanted it to be? Also, at this point, what the fuck are they going to do? Sue you for $50K? What are their options? What's their end game here? What is the goal? What are they trying to achieve by directing their ire at you? Do they just want you to apologize? Don't. Where I'm getting here is that the eventuality is that they have to get the fuck over it. Get over it. I don't care if you agree with it or don't agree with it. It's $50K. We used the $50K for our future. Get over it. They were at the wedding. They were expecting the change back. Yeah, that's right. I'm Paul Harvey with the rest of the story. Good day. And yeah, I've heard way too much Paul Harvey. I should do that on Stories with Updates. And now, the rest of the story. Did the parents specifically say use this for your wedding, Turner AC? It doesn't sound like it. It said, I mean, at some point there had to be something that said it was for the wedding. Let me scroll back up to that point. When we set a date, they gave me a check for $50K to pay for the wedding. Okay, so at some point they said this is to pay for a wedding, but what in that transaction says I have to have a $50,000 wedding? When the precedent had been set that the same amount of funds with her other siblings had been used as a down payment on a home. And again, I think if she went out and got a boob job or something, they might have been, then, I mean, still, it's whatever. It's a gift, right? It's a gift, not a contract. If it was a contract that said in writing it has to be used for this, that'd be a different deal, but it wasn't. It was a gift. Parents will claim that they own the house. If they did that, the backward precedent here would say that they also own the same amount in equity in the brothers' homes, or they couldn't use that argument. No legal document, at least that they talk about. It says they handed them a check. And even if in the memo it said for wedding, there's no requirement to return the change here.